Mr. Mathur sir, for giving this wonderful opportunity to deliver a lecture on this 3D printing and design faculty development program, right, organized by the Center for Electronics Governance, Jaipur, Rajasthan. I also would like to thank the director, that is Sandeep Kumar, then the director Sandeep Kumar, and this deputy director of this training, Dr. Birpal Singh, and other team from the Center of Electronics Governance, Jaipur, for giving me this opportunity to deliver a lecture. There is two lecture. That is, one is the global perspective of 3D printing technology, and other one is talking about the 3D printing on the biomaterials. So myself, Dr. Pawan Kumar Rakesh, I am faculty in the Department of Mechanical Engineering, National Institute of Technology, Uttarakhand. So you have attended these first two lectures by Dr. G.S. Dangyan from this MNIT Jaipur. So sir will deliver about this 3D printing introduction, process and classification. And the second lecture is about sir discuss about some advantage and this kind of comparison with the conventional machining process, some applications of this 3D printing process. So I will start from some basic, and after that we'll try to cover the some aspect of this process parameter optimization on the 3D printing. Then we'll discuss about the some global perspective, what are the applications is there. Then we're talking about some industry 4 cloud computing. We have to add some of the slides. And tomorrow I'll discuss about the 4D printing process. So complete lecture I have divided into two different perspective. First one, today we'll discuss about some engineering perspective of this 3D printing technology. And in the next class tomorrow at this 12:15, I think 12 p.m. So we'll discuss about the 4D printing process, some design and development of this 4D, this prosthetic legs. Right? Some of my PhD student is working in this area of this development of this prosthetic leg by the help of this 3D printing technology. So some of the basic concept and idea I'll try to cover tomorrow. So today in this talking about the engineering concept, basically my working area is the composite. So I'm trying to include those topic that is very useful for development of composite materials. Although that is it is very difficult to make this composite from this 3D process right now, right? But sure, in the future we'll be able to develop those complete parts with the help of 3D printing process. So starting from this history, first we'll try to discuss about this industrial revolution. Only two slide is there. Just trying to give the concept about the 3D printing from where it started, right? And try to add some then the engineering applications on the 3D printing process. So I am audible, sir?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Audible, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, so voice is clear, all is perfect, sir.
Yeah. So first industrial revolution began in Britain in the late 18th century, right, with the mechanism of this textile industry, or you can say some of the paper, you can say that is the mechanism of the machines. So basic requirement of the human already that is the food, clothes, and this building we require. So for this, we have to develop the so many clothes in the 18th century, and we are trying to achieve those targets. So that was the first industrial revolution. The second industrial revolutions we are talking about in the field of this mass productions. So Henry Ford mastered the moving assembly line, and this ushered in the range of this mass production. So they try to develop the mass production of the product. So in this Henry Ford, you can see this any customer can have a car painted any color that he wants so long as it is black. So earlier days they're trying to develop the car only that was the black painted. So nowadays depending upon the customer demand, they are trying to the different aspects or different color or different features on the car, right? So they are talking about the only color. So can we have the colors in the car in the different variety so that we can fulfill those demands by the customer. So yeah, they are trying to develop those car painted, and they are trying to the mechanism. They try to print the car in the different colors. So in that this concept was developed in the 19th century. You can see this 1909. Then we are talking about just in the third revolutions. We are talking about the digital manufacturing evolutions. So let's start with the 2D printing. So first concept came into this, that is a digital to the physical in the 1907. In that year, that is they try to develop the digital data into the physical form. So same thing we are doing, and that is the you can say version of this the 2D printing. We are now talking about the 3D printing or 4D printing. In the 4D printing, just we are adding one of this time, that is the dimensions. So starting from this 2D to 3D, you know that is a long journey there, and now we are trying to develop the 3D model, which is made of this, you can say, in the 3D form, right? That is similar to the that is the computer aided design and computer aided manufacturing. Same thing we are going to add here in the computer aided design and computer aided manufacturing. These all are this 3D printing, rapid prototyping, that is the interchangeable words, right? So in this, just trying to make this one slide to understand that is the difference between this additive manufacturing and subtractive manufacturing process. So you can say this the material, raw material, right? We have the some any of the machining process we can do, and we have the object and some wastage is there. So lots of wastage is there in the case of this traditional manufacturing process. And talking about additive manufacturing, you can say the raw materials, additive processing, any of the process we can add here, and we have the object and very little amount of waste, or you can say sometimes we need to do some post processing, right? In this subtracting, in the case of this additive manufacturing process. But if you're trying to compare the waste in the traditional manufacturing, if you have the block of this 20 or 50 kg, in that case you can produce only the block of 1 or 2 kg. So that is the ratio is between is to 1 or 2. But if you're talking about this this additive manufacturing process, in that case very little waste is there. So whatever raw material is there, we can produce with the help of those raw material. But nowadays, if we're talking about the strength, of course, we are not able to achieve those strength in the case of this additive manufacturing process. But beyond this, talking about this some future perspective, we are able to try, or you can know that is the research and scientists, they are trying to add so many things into the raw materials, and they are trying to improve the mechanical properties of the this product. So concept came from this the powder metallurgy. That is the powder sintering is the process of blending fine powder materials. So pressing them into the desired shape or form, compacting, and then heating the compressed material in a controlled atmosphere to bond the material. That is called sintering. So same sintering concept we took from this powder metallurgy process. And same sintering process we applied for this the 3D printing process. Here material is the powder, in the hard particles is there, and in the 3D printing we're talking about the polymation of this liquid polymers or some solid polymers. Our melting point is below 200 degrees centigrade, right? Not more than this. Or sometimes now we have the 3D printing of metals also. So in that case, we have the different metals we are talking about. But you can see the concept is same, right? The powder metallurgy process generally consists of the 4 basic steps: powder manufacture, powder blending, compacting, and sintering. And compacting is generally performed at room temperature, right? And the elevated temperature process of sintering is usually conducted at atmospheric pressure. But this is not our job. Just my aim is to compare from where this 3D printing process of sintering is started. You know already the Charles Hall that developed, they patented the files on the sintering process with the help of this laser. So concept came from the powder metallurgy, where we used already, that is the process that is called as the sintering. So basic history about this 3D printing process already you know. That is the lots of discussion were made in the first and second class, right? But talking about those basic brief introductions, earliest the 3D printing technology first became visible in the late 1980s, at which the time they were called rapid prototyping technology. This is because the processes were originally conceived as a fast and more cost-effective method for creating prototypes for product development within the industry. So 1980, there is a first patent was filed, that is the Charles Hull invented this stereolithography, and this is the Charles Hull was the first to develop a technology for creating solid objects from the CAD/CAM file and inventing the process he termed stereolithography in 1983. So there is a development from the 1918, not only the Charles Hull, but he filed a patent on this laser process. So we have the first patent in 1983. But so many scientists are also this developed the different types of patenting process on this 3D printing process. So this SLA works by curing and solidifying successive layers of liquid photopolymers resin using an ultraviolet laser. The fields that came to be known variously as additive manufacturing, rapid prototyping, and 3D printing work. So this is the history of the 3D printing process. So talking about the global 3D printer market, the 3D printing this potential to revolutionize manufacturing is quickly becoming a reality. So talking about this global perspective, you can say that is there are so many applications is there, that in the aerospace, automotive, machine tools, some healthcare and medicals, right? Some dentistry and dental technology, this architecture and constructions, retail, and this apparel, in the food. So there are so many scopes is there. So you can say the market value of this 3D printing, you can say the most of the product, you can see that is the achieved in the case of this automotive and this aerospace, this industry, right? We have the more target is there, right? And this Gartner Hype Cycles, they're trying to the expectations starting from this raw material to the 4D printing. And what we are talking about now, this deep learning or machine learning, some cloud computing. Now we are adding these things into the 3D printing process. So that we are talking about this industry 4, where we have everything, the automatic, and we have the data sharing. So we have the slides on this industry 4. We'll discuss in detail on this industry 4. So this product life cycle of this additive manufacturing. So we are talking about this product life cycle. The product life cycle of nowadays, you can say, for example, the mobile, that is product life cycle of this mobile, you can say that is only for 10 years or 5 years. So every year we have the new phone. So product is going to replaced or this completely removed from the market. So you have to think about this product life cycle of the process, right? And already you know about this, the idea, we have the idea, and there is 4 stages there, right? That is this rapid prototyping, starting from this concept, then we're talking about design, some testing, then some planning, right? Then the rapid manufacturing, rapid tooling, and rapid sparing, and then the date of the part. So whatever product we have in the 3D printing process, now we have to think, either you can change, if you want to survive in the market, then we have to think about what are the changes we can make in the product, starting from this product life cycle, talking about this from introduction stage, right? So there are in the 4 stages in the product life cycle. That is the introduction, growth, maturity, and the decline. Last is the decline. So to sustain in the market, always there is a feedback loop is there, and we have to think about some new idea, new concept in the product, right? So based upon this new concept and new idea, we have to think either the technology or either this raw material process, right? Or you can say that we have to reduce the lead cycle time of the complete manufacturing from the customer to the this product delivered to the customer. So this is about this product life cycle is very important for this additive manufacturing. We need to understand this thing first. So whatever product we have developed, we are trying to develop in the market, they have to sustain only the certain period of time. So interrelation between the cost, time, and flexibility. So we are talking about this. In the case of this traditional manufacturing, if you are talking about the mass productions, if you have there is a graph. In this case, if you want to increase the mass production, then we have to reduce the cost. But in the case of the 3D printing, where the cost is, it will not change or slightly there is a slight variation in the cost. So in the cost, you can say we have the graph that is the less material waste, machine tools, right? Then flexibility, we have the design flexibility in the case of 3D printing, various properties in a single part. That is a complex part we can produce. Then rapid repair, right? So whenever we need on the manufacturing side, we can produce those parts, right? And we can change the part, spare parts we can change. So this thing we can do very easily in the case of 3D printing process. So there is this interrelation between this cost, time, and flexibility. So just see this comparison chart of this traditional manufacturing versus the cost comparison with additive manufacturing. Then in this case, you can see fabrication cost is going to slightly increase, or you can say that is a constant almost if you increase the part complexity. Here you can low, medium, and high. So no more feasible in the traditional. So nowadays, even talking about the traditional manufacturing or even any of the process, if you, I can ask you to tell me any of the product that is you can say that can be manufactured without the any of the machines, right? Without doing any extra processing, right? So in a one go, if you want to produce any of the component, then your answer will be we can produce only simple parts, simple component in the case of this traditional manufacturing. For example, some paperweight, some frying pan, some anvil, these types of item you can produce, even though you can say now we are in the 21st century we are living, and no such types of this process is available in the worldwide. So we can produce any of the complicated product. So for making this complicated product, we have to add or we have to make the so many parts, and we are trying to do the assembly. So there are so many steps we are involved in the traditional manufacturing process. But in case of additive manufacturing, we can produce the more complicated part, but somehow we can say somewhere we have to compromise with the mechanical properties or this strength of the materials. We are not able to achieve the metals. At least now we are in a stage, so we can develop the prototype, right, as required. Whatever we can think in our mind, we can at least develop in the form of prototyping. So these things we are trying to achieve in the additive manufacturing process. So in the second diagram, we can see that is the production cost versus quantity. In that case, you can say that the additive manufacturing, the cost is simply increased, but in the case of traditional fabrication, cost is decreased. Of course, Henry Ford developed this mass production lines, right? So this transfer lines for this mass productions. So of course, the cost of this machining is going to decrease. But somewhere we're trying to achieve those targets, or in the case of this additive manufacturing, very less cost is going to increase. So one is the NASA developed the robot. You can see the machining cost. So parts produced from the CNC machining and parts produced from the FDM tooling. So total cost you can see that is $1,80,000, and time required to produce this part is 32 weeks. And this FDM tooling, you can see the total cost is 36,000 only, and time required to produce this part is only 2 weeks. So lots of saving is there if you use this additive manufacturing process, and you can say we can save this time and we can save the cost. So this is the cost comparison between the traditional manufacturing and the additive manufacturing. First, we need to understand the things on the additive manufacturing process. So now we'll discuss about the application parts. So my topic is the global perspective on the 3D printing. So we must discuss about the applications of this additive manufacturing process. And so you can see this conventionally designed and produced cast steel, this hinge bracket for this Airbus A320 top, and this optimized titanium version of the Nestle hinge bracket made by additive manufacturing technology. see the difference in this conception of the part. So now we don't have any type of this process, right? So we can produce this type of shape. So we have to form this any type of the casting process or pouring process, any of the conventional machining process. So we have the limitations, and we can produce parts within those limitations. But in the case of the 3D printing, you can see we have the optimize the design. Same design we can optimize, and we can save the weight, and we can reduce this weight of the complete parts or materials, right? So another example, you can see this commercial airplane can have to several hundreds seat belt buckles. A standard buckle weight is around 155 grams and 120 grams this titanium and this aluminum. So with this atom manufacturing, the weight was reduced to 68 gram in the titanium, right? And the saving over the lifetime of this Airbus A380, you can see we can save the fuel, and we can save the this reduce the CO2 emission also. This amount of this CO2 emission we can reduce it if we can reduce the only the one component, that is the seat buckles that we are using in the Airbus. That is more than the, and that is I think 300 or 400 seat buckles we are using. So just we are reducing the seat buckle weight, so we can save this amount of CO2 emissions and this fuel. So talking about this, if you can design the so many components in the airplane, then we can make this lighter this airplane, right? We can increase the efficiency of the fuel efficiency also. So this is example of the seat buckle. So another example you can see, that is the part manufacturing, that is shoes. The advantage of the sports shoes manufacture is the data exchange between development and production overnight. So it is Adidas with the development in Germany and production site in China. So you can say for another example, medical applications, 3D printing can be personalized, giving back life to quality. So we'll discuss some parts tomorrow. So another example you can see, that is the assembly can be personalized and printed on one process. These cycle parts you can produce. And NASA has just carried out this parabolic flight that mimic the macrogravity to test the additive manufacturing. So many other applications you can produce on the site with the help of the 3D printing process. So this next applications, we can print this some food, chocolate printer is there, some figure printer, some model we can develop, some this complete printer building we can make. People are trying to build this complete building with the help of the 3D printing process. So there are geometric complexity is not a limitation in the 3D printing. So very complicated shape we can produce in the 3D printing process. Different types of shape we can produce, but it may take some time, but we are able to produce. But some this complicated complex part is very difficult to produce in the traditional manufacturing process. So application of this 3D printing, you can see in terms of this form, fit, and these functions. So now we can make this seat for the child or seat for old people, right? Some tire we can develop, some gun we can make with the help of this 3D printing process. So another example talking about this application of 3D printing, 3D scanner is a process of analyzing and collecting data of real object, its shape and appearance, and builds digital three-dimensional model. So I'll show you the, even though nowadays we are able to, with the development of the 3D printing technology, we can save the complete color, we can able to transfer and the real figure with the help of this reverse engineering. We can have the color combinations, and now you can copy this soap this with the help of this 3D scanner, and we are trying to produce exact picture of the images. Another example, you can see the 3D scanners. So what are the future perspective of this additive manufacturing? You can see that is now talking about this Airbus would like to make a 3D printer that is large enough to make planes from the ground up. A hangar size printer. A size is 80 meter by 80 meter. So this is the demand from this Airbus industries. They want to manufacture this complete aeroplane with the help of this 3D printing process. So another is the made in space in US company, this experimenting with the zero gravity 3D printing. The process could potentially allow astronauts to print objects as required in space and saving valuable weight at launch. So NASA has been looking at 3D printing for some times now and considering the technology for long mission where astronauts could create their own equipment in the trip. So whenever we require, we can produce on the site different types of product if you have this technology of the 3D printing process. So this technology, talking about the 3D printing technology, you can say the share of this respondent. So most of the research is going on this selective laser sintering, right? That is 38%. Then talking about the fluid diffusion modeling, it's 31%. And the stereolithography and this multi-jet polyjet, this application is very less, right? We can achieve the more this, you can say that accuracy and precision in the case of laser sintering process as compared to the fluid diffusion modeling, right? Or some the multi-jet or polyjet printing process. So there is chart. So additive manufacturing materials. So what are the materials you can use in the additive manufacturing process? That is the nylon or polyamide. It's commonly used in a powder form with the sintering process or in a filament form with the ABM process. It is a strong, flexible, durable plastic material that has proved reliable for 3D printing. It is naturally white in color, but it can be colored, right, or pre or post printing. After the printing this model, we can have the option to make the color combinations. We can make you can develop this color printing on the developed model. This material can also be combined in powder format with powder aluminum to produce another common 3D printing materials for sintering aluminide. So ABS is another common plastic used for 3D printing and is widely used on the entry-level FDM 3D printers in the filament form. It is particularly strong plastic and comes in a wide range of colors. ABS can be bought in filament form from a number of non-proprietary sources, which is another reason why it is so popular. So another metal is the PLA. That is the PLA is a biodegradable plastic material that has gained traction with the 3D printing for this very region. It can be utilized in resin format for this DLP direct printing or SL process as well as in filament form for the FDM process. It is offered in a variety of colors, including transparent, which has proven to be useful options for some applications of 3D printing. However, it is not a durable that is as flexible as ABS. So main problem in the PLA is the very less strength we can achieve, but the material is biodegradable. That is fully biodegradable material is there, but the main problem is the metal properties or some mechanical properties is very weak, right? We have to try to develop this, increase the mechanical properties of this PLA. Wood is especially developed 3D printing material for entry-level extrusion 3D printers. It comes in filament form and is a wood and polymer composite. So today I have selected develop the composite which is based on this wood powder. So we have the different types of this examples. We are trying to produce those composite, wood-based composite. So a growing number of metals and metal composites are used for industrial grade 3D printing. Two of the most common are this aluminum and cobalt derivatives. So one of the strongest and therefore most commonly used metals for 3D printing is stainless steel in powder form for the sintering, melting, ABM process. It is naturally silver but can be plated with other metals to give a gold or bronze effect. In the last couple of years, gold and silver have been added to the range of materials that can be 3D printed directly. with obvious application across the jewelry sector. These are both very strong materials and are processed in powder form. So titanium is one of the strongest possible materials and has been used for 3D printing industrial applications. So nowadays we can use the ceramics. So ceramics are this relatively new group of materials that can be used for 3D printing with various level of success. The particular thing to note with these materials is that post printing, the ceramic parts need to undergo the same process as any ceramic part made using the traditional method of production, namely this firing and glazing. So some papers, standard A4 copier papers is a 3D printing material employed by this proprietary SDL process supplied by the Amcor technology. Nowadays we can make this chip that is a RFID that is used in the car. So we can produce this part with the help of the 3D printing process. The company operates a notably different business model to other 3D printing vendors, whereby the capital outlay for the machines is in the mid-range, but the emphasis is very much on an easily obtainable, cost-effective material supply that can be bought locally. So 3D printed models made with paper are safe, environmentally friendly, easily recyclable, and require no post-processing. So biomaterials, that is a huge amount of this research is being conducted into the potential of this 3D printing biomaterials for medical developing applications that include printing human organs for the transplant as well as external tissue for this replacement body parts. Other research in this area is focused on developing the food stuffs and some this plastic legs or something like this we can produce of this biomaterial. So of course there is some advantage in the 3D printing process, then some drawback or some risk is there in the 3D printing process. So some safety measurement we need to take care while using these types of equipment. So powder handling and pulling risk may be experienced while working with the systems. So risk or damage to this respiratory tract and lungs. So when handling metal powders and filter dust and suspected this carcinogenic effect of the metal powder and filler dust. It is strongly recommended to wear the breathing protection, respiratory mask, this particle filter 2D, P2D or P23D, and this never inhale the dust when filling, emptying and cleaning the building envelope. So this build module, this dosing chamber, coater, the powder overflow, and when emptying the collecting container and filter this cartridge of the extraction and filter unit. So same problem we can also generally observe in this cement factory, cement industry. When the worker is working in the cement industry, they have the same types of problem. So the powder is very dangerous to our health or lungs. So risk of this eye damage when handling metal powder and this filter dust. That is, it is strongly recommended to wear eye protection, this close fitting safety goggles and inputting and cleaning the build envelope. And when emptying the collecting container and filter cartridge of the extraction and filter unit. The risk of this compressed air outlet. So compressed air can escape if the compressed air lines and union joints are open or damaged. So it is strongly recommended to wear safety gloves due to the risk of skin damage. The toxic nickel in the metal powder and filter dust can cause irreversible damage or sensitization through skin contact. Some allergic reactions may be there. So laser system, in the laser is an invisible, this light is there, right? So this means that the human eye contact cannot detect the beams if it is impact the eyes. So it is highly recommended to activate the laser only when the door is closed due to the preventive action of the door crystals. So special precautions should be made with the this locking and undocking of the build chamber. So the laser may impact with the part and suffer several damage. So another risk on the 3D printing are this energy hogs. When melting plastic with heat or laser, the 3D printers consume about 50 to 100 times more electrical energy than injection molding to make an item of the same weight. According to research, Loughborough this university, in 2009, the research at this MIT eventually beginning manufacturing program showed that laser direct metal deposition, where metal powder is fused together and use hundred of times the electricity as traditional casting or machining process. So because of this, 3D printers are better for small batch runs. So process is costly, raw material is also costly, one-time investment is very costly in this case. So unhealthy air emissions, 3D printers may pose a health risk when used in the home, according to researchers at this Inland Institute of Technology. So the emission from this desktop 3D printers are similar to burning a cigarette or cooking on a gas or electric stove. Because there is burning of this plastic, we can working on now this talking about this government issue. We're talking about this plastic. They are totally banned, but now we are working with 3D printing. We are working on the plastic only, right? But now we are replacing those plastics with the biodegradable materials. At least that will degrade. So this in the 2013 study was the first to measure these airborne this particle emissions from the desktop 3D printer. While hitting the plastics and printing small figures, the machines using this PLA filament emitted 20 billion ultrafine particles per minute, and the ABS emitted up to 200 billion particles per minute. These particles can settle in the lungs or in the bloodstream and pose health risk, especially for those with the asthma or the problem area. So reliance on these plastics, that is the one biggest issue is there, right? We have to change those plastics or this non-degradable plastic to the biodegradable plastics. That is the main problem. So one of the biggest environmental movement in this recent history has been to reduce the reliance on the plastics, from this grocery bag to water bottle to household objects that can be made from the recycled materials instead. The most popular and the cheapest 3D printers use plastic filaments. Although using this raw material reduces the amount of waste in general, the machines still leaves unused or excess plastics in the print beds. PLA is biodegradable, but ABS filament is still the most commonly used types of plastics. So the plastic by products in the landfills, if the 3D printing is going to be in like that by product or other recycled plastics need to be reused, or we can use those plastic for many times. So some licensing problem is there, IP and licensing problem is there. The product life cycle is very short, and we can just you can copy those products directly and we can print them, right? So that is the licensing and IP problem is there. So you can say then the gun control loopholes. So these types of products that we can manufacture, that is not so good. Everyone can manufacture in a home, right? So there are some drawbacks there. Then the responsibility of the manufacturer, some weapons, some any gun harms is there. So we need to control, or there are some drawbacks of this process, or we have to make some licensing arrangement is there in these types of product. So then some this bioprinting ethics and regulations. This the kernel bioengineers and these physicians created a artificial ear that acts like a natural one. So you have to think this bioprinting. Then the possibility of this 3D printed these drugs, medicines we can produce, right? The safety of this item that came into the contact with the food, right? So nowadays you can produce this pizza with the help of the 3D printing process. So when we add some of them, some these mixtures, we are developing the mixtures that may create some reactions that will not be useful for the human or persons, right? So these types of risk is there in the 3D printing process. So now I think we have covered so many types of this risk in the 3D printing process. So talking about the free 3D design software that is easily available. Those who want to work in the 3D printing process, they want to design. So very simple parts that is you can freely available the softwares you can download from the internet and you can use it. So some of this steps, basic steps that I will try to tomorrow to show you how to use the software in the design software in the case of the 3D printing process. So some of the steps I will show you. So we'll discuss about this. Some comparison of different sliding softwares. So these are the different softwares you can download from the internet. So for the slicing softwares, once you build in the CAD software the model, in that case, if you want to print them, then those files you to transfer in the this slicing software, right? You have to make the dimensions, you have to define the mesh size in this slicing software. Then this file will transfer to the machines for printing purpose. So this type of the software is there. Then the comparison is different set of software same. Just you can see the different type of softwares that is available. Again, this different types of software is there. Just have downloaded from the internet. The different list is there. So in the different features, this software has different assembly, different feature. All the softwares are free. In terms of softwares, you can download from this internet and you can use it for the slicing purpose. So additive manufacturing principles. So today I'll discuss about these types of process, and in this we have already discussed. We had this use it for the composite development. So of the 3D printing process. So in this case, just today we'll discuss this material extrusion. We'll use for this wood powder, this mixture of this wood and this polymer, and then the powder fusion we can use it, and this material jetting we can use it, and the binder jetting. So these parts we'll trying to cover today with the help of some applications and this process for this development of composite. And we also use this part types of process here. And tomorrow we'll discuss about this wet polymerization. We'll discuss tomorrow. Then the sheet laminations process and this direct energy depositions. So these three will use for this biomedical applications, and this 4 will use for this manufacturing of the composite. So wood based composite material. So we'll try to discuss the different process. Already you know the different types of process already used in this. So material extrusion, this fuse deposition modeling, then the direct ink writing, then this electrohydrodynamic direct printing. We'll not cover this all, but basic at least one in this all material extrusion, this powder bed fusion and metal jetting will cover one by one, and the binder jetting for this development of composite materials. So in this histolithography process, then the digital lithography and this continuous liquid interface productions, then 2 photon polymerizations, and this computer axial lithography we'll discuss tomorrow. So 2 photon polymerization is this, that is the process is a non-linear, that is the optical process based on the stimulus absorption of the 2 photon in a photosensitive materials. It's a photoresist material there. So this process changes the photosensitive material, that it leads to the polymerizations by activating the polymers. So this is called as the 2 photon polymerization. So we'll discuss tomorrow in detail. And this computer axial lithography, that is the computer technology, this based upon this computer tomography, this scan to this create objects from the photocurable bearings. Whatever image with the help of we have in the 3D scanners, we can use it for this computed axial lithography. And this process is already developed. So these 2 are added. We have not seen in the morning class. So we'll discuss these 2 types of process, that is photon polymerizations and this computed axial lithography. So some of the process we'll discuss one by one in this the detail. So material jetting process, in this you can see this additive manufacturing process, that's a material jetting. So material jetting creates object in a similar method to a 2-dimensional inkjet printer. The material is jetted onto a build platform using either a continuous or drop on demand approach. So multi-jet modeling, that is the technology. Then the materials we can use are the plastics, polymers, polypropylene, then HDP, high-density polythene, then the PS, PMA, MPC, and ABS, and HIPS, and EDP materials. So medical use, of course, there's the medical models, dental cast, this dental implants, guides, we can use it, already they are running. And this high accuracy, the low waste of this material, multiple materials parts, and this color in one process. Of course, there is some disadvantage of this process. So required support materials, then the limited materials, only polymers and wax are supported. So binder jetting, the binder jetting process uses two materials, a powder based materials and a binder. The binder is usually a liquid form and the build material in powder form. A printhead moves horizontally along the XY axis of the machines and deposits alternating layers of the build material and the binding materials. So powder bed and this inkjet 3D head printing, that is a plastic based 3D printing. So these are technology. So materials we can use, that is stainless steel, polymers, ABS, PA and this polycarbonate and this ceramics and glass. So medical applications, you can see the color models, especially color coding of this anatomy. The advantage is the range of its colors, multiple materials supported, faster, different binder powder combinations for various mechanical properties. And disadvantage is not always suitable for structural parts. The cleaning of the 3D printing results need time and increases the time of the procedure. So two more processes there, that is the metal extrusion and this powder bed fusion. So try to compare those results. So process description, you can see that is a fuse deposition modeling is a common material extrusion process and is trademarked by the company Stasis. So material is drawn through a nozzle where it is heated and is then deposited layer by layer. The nozzle can move horizontally and a platform moves up and down vertically after each new layer is deposited. So technology we can use is fuse deposition modeling, then fuse filament fabrications. Materials, plastics and polymers, ABS, nylon, PC and AB, you can use it. So medical use, medical instrument and devices, rapid prototyping, skeleton we can meet. So advantage in express process, widespread, ABS plastic supported, good structural properties and easily accessible. So disadvantage is dependence on the quality of the nozzle radius. Bigger nozzle leads to less quality. So you have to reduce the nozzle size is very small, that is the 3 mm, 4 mm. So low accuracy and dependence on the nozzle thickness, low speed contact pressure needed to increase quality. And last, we are talking about this powder based fusion. So in this powder based fusion, that is the powder bed fusion process includes the following commonly used printing techniques. So these are the techniques: selective laser sintering, direct metal laser sintering, selective heat sintering, selective laser melting, and electron beam melting. So materials we can use it, the powder based materials, common metals and polymers used are this selective heat sintering. So nylon we can use, DMLS, SLS, this technology you can have this SLM, silting, laser melting. Then this selective laser melting, this is steel, titanium, aluminum, cobalt, chrome steels. Right, some EBM process. We have the titanium, cobalt, chrome, stainless steel materials, aluminum, and copper. So these types of we can use it. So models that require the latest medical devices such as implants and fixation. These types of equipment we can generally made with the help of this powder bed fusion. And advantage is that in especially small technology, office size machines, large range of material options. So disadvantage, low speed, lack of structural properties in materials, limited size, dependence on the powder grain size. So already you studied about the different types of process, but this four types of process we use in the development of this wood composite in the next slide also. So before this, I'll try to add the process effect of this process parameter in the additive manufacturing. Although I have slide is taken from this PPT into the reference. Sungha. So you can see here that is the effect of this process parameter in this case of 3D printing, that is the loadings, right? We have the design, the CAD models, then we have the material selection, then any of the materials you can use it, and we have the process parameters. What are the process parameters? So the different types of process parameter, and we will study the effect of those process parameter in the mechanical properties. We have the complete this graph. We have studied, we have made the different types of samples for the testing purpose, right? And we analyze the result. So of course there is heat source is required in this process. So nozzle movement system, then material heating system, material feeding system. So these are the so many types of this parameter we have to include. So nozzle path and the speed, the thermal heating and cooling, then layering directions we have to include, and we have to study the effect of this process parameter. So you can see that what are the this effect is not seen in this. So what are the parts you can develop here, right? And the key performance indicator, you can see the quality of product, stiff and strong, then the production rate, the cycle time, then the dimension and precision, high precision. So dimension and precision is very important thing in this case. You can achieve the only precision accuracy of the plus minus 0.1 mm, right? And waste is just very less waste is there in the case of this ultimate pitching process. So these are the process parameters. In the next, you can see the overall process parameters in FDM. Mathur sir? Sir, can you unmute your mic?
Saturday, like actually we are given 3 hours project hours, right?
Mathur sir?
That time, like we'll be having more strength. All the students will not be able to accommodate in the lab.
Sir, I am audible.
I think if it's Wi-Fi or something connection is given so that students can use that sitting either in the classrooms or anything.
Mathur sir?
It is not there for this. Only 200 MB. That option is not available. Yeah, only with that.
Mathur sir?
Little also not.
Sir, I am audible.
At that time, many students are using it. We have grown. They can't have the login.
Wi-Fi is
There, but they can't access that.
students cannot access. So that normally you are able to access faculty members. How you access?
They actually.
Mathur sir?
You don't
We
have
had
Sir?
In third floor, we don't.
nobody is using it.
In third floor, we don't have. Yes, sir, you are right.
They're having them, it's very. I'm managing your own
Sir,
data.
some noise is coming, sir. Can you mute them?
Even in the R.
Hello? Hello?
Sir, can you,
Hello, Pavan
Sir.
sir?
sir, can you mute the mic, sir? So sound is coming, sir.
एक मिनट सर. Okay, sir.
Sir, no audio.
1 minute, sir. 1 minute. Only 1 minute, sir.
Now am I audible?
Yes, sir. Audible. You are
Yeah.
audible.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. Sorry
So
for
this,
disturbance, sir.
Okay, sir. So this cause and effect diagram, that is the concept model talking about this topology optimization. So I have shown one diagram where you can just change the physical this this image of this product, right? So in that case, we can reduce the weight and we can whatever when required this material we can add them. So we this type of this material removal types of process we can do in the this MATLAB process, or you can do in the ANSYS software also. So this type of topology optimization we can do. Then the STL file, right? So material selections, this melting and cooling, you know, that is the effect of this input parameters. So we have to use types of materials, then density and color, which nowadays we are customer demand is more about this color. So we need the color combinations. So this part building orientation, we have the X direction, Y direction, and Z directions, and the environmental factors, that is the temperature and humidity. This FDM machines, in this we can talking about this model build temperature, envelope temperature, machine calibrations, and nozzle, and nozzle diameter. So working parameters, that is the part interior styles, then the raster angles and raster width and gap, this contour width and gap, right? And this part fill styles, layer thickness, and part shrinkage. So these are this affect the key performance indicator, means complete the overall properties of this 3D built part, we can have the effect on this types of this input parameters on this output of this 3D printed model. So next you can see the effect of this print speed and layer thickness on this functions. So this influence of this print speed and this layer thickness on this functions in FDM. So the formation of this bond in the FDM process is driven by the thermal energy of the semi-molten materials. So you can see this surface containing and this neck growth of this diffusion and donation, these types of processes happening between this layer, one layer and other layer. So in this talking about the effect, you can see the collisions. So layer thickness of 0.5 mm and the print speed is you can say 30 to 60 mm per second. So in that case, there is model, predicted model, and the measure model. So there's slightly variation is there in the case of this predicted. So in this case of predicted, we have using this any of the software. So there are less, you can say that is the implicit parameters there in that case. So we have the this almost straight line. So slightly variation in the speed, we have the less in the variations decrease in this quotient. It means you can say that we have the lesser time in between this between the layer. These times also affect on the quotients of the polymers. So another example is this thickness layer is 1 mm. You can see there is slight variation is there in the case of this predicted models and the measured models. So here is this some graph of this. So effect of this build orientation on the tensile strength in FDM. So this model is developed in the injection molding machines, and same model is developed in the this FDM process. So in that case, you can see the trying to compare the result in this that is upright or on edge and flat. You can see. So raster angle, you can see the raster angle. This is the raster angle, and this gap between this laser filament, one filament to other filament. So depending upon the even the distance, is also going to affect the strength. So sometimes we're talking about the infinite density is also going to affect, but raster angles, distance between one layer and other layer, that is also going to affect the mechanical property. So you can see this on edge, upright and flat. This test of result I have already tested here. So I'll show you the graph on my result also. So this machine setting default one, optimal result is there. You can see there is slightly variations of this strength in the initial molded part and this FDP printed parts. So this process parameters SLS. So this material is used for TP and metal and ceramics. So in this we will not discuss about this process. Just we will go to this input parameters. So what is laser parameters? Laser power, energy, spot size, scanning speed, scanning mode, interval time, exposure time, and part weight, temperature. So geometric parameters, that is the height and spacing, scan pattern, layer thickness, build directions, part orientation, and point distance. So I discussed about this point distance also going to affect the mechanical properties of this printed part. So sintered materials, grain size, chemical composition, and this powder oxidation. So sintering parameters talking about scanning speed and this point distance, laser beam diameter and laser power, and this economical factors talking about limited available powder type.
हाँ चलिए चलिए हैं चलिए वो बना दे क्या थोड़ा सा 5 मिनट में
Sir, can you
नहीं,
mute
report-
the participants?
अच्छा हैं
हेलो एक मिनट हेलो पवन सर आवाज आ रही है यार कहाँ गया पवन सर हेलो
Okay, it's muted, sir, because of some
Okay,
background
okay.
disturbance.
Hello? Sir, now I'm audible?
Yes, sir, audible, sir.
So I don't know, I think muted is my mic. Now I'm audible, I think, right? So this effect of this process parameter on the strength and density. So you can see this SLS process parameter, that the laser power, scanning speed, exposure time, and point distance. So exposure time, this length of time when this laser is spot in one spot. So between the spot to spot, you can see the distance also going to affect this performance. Here is the distance 50, 75, and 100 microseconds. Right, this point distance between this laser spots, point 1, 2, and 3, it is a melting point. So you can see the strength, talking about the effect of this point distance and laser power output. So this compressive strength you can see, and point distance from this 50 to 75, and power output 400, this is 240 to 400 watt. So you can see the strength, if you have this point distance is less, that is 50, and more this compressive strength about this 100, and this is 100 MPa, right? And if you can increase this point distance, so there will be chances of this less melting of this sintering of this powder. So in that case, this liquid, in that case we have to decrease the strength. So this graph is going to disturb the values, right? So under diagram, in the case of density also, you can see the density is this at the less point distance, that is 50, here the density is 1.5, and if we increase this, then we have to less this density. Air means talking about the infill density, and infill density means either you can have the volume of 50% to 100%. So depending upon this laser fusion, we have the melted the metals, or we have metal is not melted, just in a powder form. So that will also going to affect the metal property. So now we will discuss about this wood powders in the 3D printing. So in this wood powder, you can see generally your history is being cut by the different applications, right? And in the wood mills, we have the lots of this wood powder that is going to waste. So these types of this wood powder, you can collect from this wood mill, and you can make the again grind in the grinder. So you have this particle size of this 350 or 100 to 200, 400, 800. With this 800 micrometer, we can use it, right? So we have to increase the nozzle size. So then this in terms of PLA or liquid polymer or binder or some gypsums, we have to use it for this binding purpose. This types of powder and this polymer is used in the FDM process, and these types of product we can develop this wood powder based 3D printed object. So this is one of the composite, basically you can use it for the composition cases. So same thing also we can use it for the composite development. We can mix this polymer in the liquid epoxy resin, and we are trying to study the effect of this wood powder filament on this mechanical properties. So this result we have shown here. So 3D printing process for this wood powder. So already you know about this different types of process, that is the metal extrusion, powder bed fusion, and metal jetting and binder jetting. So here is this metal spool nozzle, here is the heating filament object, and metals which support metal is required, right? And this build platform, there is a particle positions of this in the z directions, or nozzle is moving in the horizontal directions. So this types of process, I think you have already seen that this types of process in the previous lecture. So we'll not discuss about the process. So 3D printing process based on the wood powder. So what we can do in this, so we have collected the wood, right? Then we have the binders, right? You can mix it. You can make it in the fired form. So in the phase diffusion, you have to make the filaments. For mixing this filament, you have to use the twin screw extruder. First, you have to make the mixture, and you make the filament of this with the help of twin screw extruder. Then this with the help of the single screw extruder, you can make the filament, or we can use it in the process, right? So we can do the mixing, then extrusion, then we prepare the filament, right? Then we can use those filament in the 3D printing process. with the help of this FDM process, right? And some post curing is required, some little amount of post curing is required, some types of freezing is required. You have to remove the this unmelted or this some of the powders on this parts, right? So we have the final 3D printed object. So different types of polymers and binders you can generally use it. So polyvinyl alcohol, polyamides, this polyethylene acids, acrylobutadiene, ABS, these have already used it. I have researched from the research paper. Some binders we can use also. This adhesives they have already used it. So plastics and gypsum, cellulose, or lignocellulose, cement and sodium silicate or urea formaldehyde that already been used with the help of this in the case of this wood powder based product development. So this wood powder specifications, you can see different types of wood powder species already being used. That is the beech, aspen, then this poplar, pine, and this particle size. Then we have this binding agent. So different types of binding agent they have used. So this either use it the polymer form or this the binder, right? So some of this, that is the PVA, this Europe formaldehyde, PLA, then the TPU and modifier, then the PLA copolyester, this viscosity reducer and light stabilizer. Some methyl cellulose is also used it, right? And gypsum, cement, and sodium silicate and methyl cellulose. So this is also one type of this binder, PMBSR202. So 3D printing technology is already used these 4 types, such as metal extrusion, powder bed fusion, liquid deposition, and binder jetting. So printing conditions. So condition is very important. If you want to know the properties, then you have to understand the printing conditions. So in that case, either any types of printers you can use it. The nozzle diameter is also going to affect. If you have the larger diameter, then you can say that is a more chances of density or this input density is very less. So in that case, you may decrease the properties. So nozzle diameter should be very less. But if you have the particle size is 850 or something like this, then you have to increase the nozzle size. So sometimes 8 mm nozzle size is also going to be used for printing the wood powder based this 3D printed parts. So printing temperature, of course, the polymer temperature, you can say that is the 200 degrees centigrade or some. So in that case, you have to use the printing temperature 275, 210, and 200 degrees centigrade. Then the object, so different types of this pasting purpose for this bending test specimen or tensile test specimen we can produce and test a small component already. You have seen different types of parts that is already produced with the help of wood powder. So 3D printing products, you can see these are 3D printing products. They are templated shape, they are developed, and you can see if you can vary this wood powder, then we have the different types of samples. So 3D printing process based on the wood powder. So this force needed for extrusion. Here is the extrusion process, and other one you have the pressurized air in the nozzle. So in this ADM process, one is you can say that is the without filament, means we are not making the filament with the help of this extruder, but directly we can use those types of mixture in the with the help of extrusion process. And this types of this mixture is going to be the help of nozzle, and we are using making a layer. So same picture you can see here in the layer. We are going to help it with the help of extrusion process. Another is the pressurized chamber for the 3D printing. In this case, we have the pressure, just like a painter, we are painting in this walls or this car painted. So this types of mechanism we have used it for the 3D printing, just to develop the pressure in the pressure chamber, and we are mixing the wood on powder, and we can making the filament for the directly for you this making the product. So liquid deposition modeling of this methyl cellulose and this pine wood powder, you can see the nozzle diameter is there, this 8 mm. So powder size is high. So wood powder ratio is also high, 84 to 88%. Generally, we recommend this this wood powder is up to 50%, right, and 50% for this polymers. So if you have this more particle size, increase the particle size, wood powder ratio is high, then we have to increase the larger nozzle diameter, and they develop this the bending specimen. This is bending specimen. Other one the towers, they develop the tower. So you can see this nozzle length is 51 mm, layer thickness 4 mm, printing speed is 1 mm per second. So based upon this, if you want to make this, then you have to study the different types of this mechanical properties, some strength and rheological properties you have to study. So wood powder content versus this physical properties of this filament and the printed object. So this density of this filament and objects, you can see the strength of the properties of the filament in the B, and this rheological properties in the third diagram, and the fourth is the thermal property. So before making this, we have to study this parameters, then we can. So we take 1 minute break. So we have to study this density, then modulus of elasticity, then this linear viscosity region, this LVR, this limit of the stance, then talking about this thermographic analysis TGA, and this derivative thermography, that is DTG. So different types of testing we have to this stage after this printing of this 3D printing parts. So based upon this, you can analyze the strength. This is all about this wood powder based composite. Now we're talking about the MTech student Mr. Neil Kamal has developed the 3D printing part on this knuckle joint. So I'll show you the some of the result. We have tested in Uttarakhand. So you know it is a knuckle joint. So knuckle joint is a mechanical joint used to connect the two rods, right? And in which we can pass the tensile load, right? When the requirement we have the some axial moment and some angular flexibility is there. So in that case, you can have the flexibility of the region. So what are the specifications you can see? So in this first, I will try to show you the analysis what we have studied, that is the dimension analysis. First we do of this knuckle joint part with the help of this polyjet printing technology. So we have used the polyjet printing technology. Another we have made the this FDM technology. In the polyjet we use for the liquid in this polymer. In the FDM we are used for the solid part. This filament we use in that case. So this again we do the dimension analysis of this part developed by the polyjet technology and this FDM technology for the different part. One is I will show you that this knuckle joint, other in the bearing pillow block. So this do the optimization process for this maximum tensile strength of using this Taguchi techniques to optimize in the tensile test specimen. And I will show in the last we will show you the this strength analysis of this rectangular solid bar. So we have done the different types of testings of this in the form of bar, in the form of this rectangular bar, in the form of this different 2, 3, 4 components, right? And then we do the strength analysis of the this solid bar, and we compare with the both the results with the of this numerical solution result also. So so in this specifications we have the build materials, right? Zero blue, that is RGD 840. Then we have the support material SUP 705. Then the build material consumption is 398 gram for manufacturing this knuckle joint. Then support material consumption is 147 gram. Layer thickness is 28 microns. Total number of slices is 246. And the time taken to manufacture these parts is 8 hours 36 minutes. This is the setup for this polyjet printing machines. And here is the card model. So in this you can see we have the this knuckle joint, knuckle pin, and this we have the collar. So this is the collar and knuckle pin. We have inserted this knuckle pin. Here is the double eye fork and a single eye fork. So we are not able to make this complete will not able to produce this complete axle movement or linear movement on this 3D printed knuckle joint part. So that is one some problem. So you can see the 3D printed knuckle joint part. So knuckle joint after this manufacturing the support materials, and then this is the after the removal of the support materials. So for removing this support materials, we need the, you can see that is this NOS treatment or this type of process. Any of this oxide is used to, with the help of this jetting technique, you can remove the support materials, right? So this is the finished part we receive after the 3D printing process. So next you can see that is the dimensional analysis of the knuckle joint. So we can do the dimensional analysis on this quadrant measuring machines. In the CMM testing, you can see we have considered the 12 different value at the different points. So point is already marking, and you can see the nominal value whatever we have put it in this CAD design model and we have received in the actual part. So there is certain deviations in there in this types of models. You can see in the certain deviation is 0.37. Here is the 0.58. Some positive dimension is there. Some negative dimension is again 0.27. So like this type of deviations we generally achieve the part printed in the PolyJet technology. So again, so manufacturing of this bearing pillow block. So again, we found some defect.
Please mute all the devices. पवन सर आवाज आ रही है? हैं? किसने बोला है? स्वामी जी कहाँ हैं? हैं?
Sir, I am audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible, sir.
Okay.
Sir, is there any animation video of the setup? How will be manufacturing this thing with the help of the 3D printer?
Yes.
Yeah. Right now we don't have, but tomorrow I'll show you.
Okay, sir. So that's why things become more and more clear.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. Yeah, thank you, sir.
Okay. So this nozzle diameter is 0.4 mm, layer thickness is 0.2 mm, wall thickness is 1.2 mm, and infill density is 40%, and print speed is 45 mm per second. Total number of slices is 165, and time taken to manufacture is 6 hours 33 minutes. So this is the CAD model of this bearing pillow block, right, with the dimensions, and we have printed with the help of this FDM printer. And this is the finished bearing pillow block. So bearing pillow block, already you know that is we used for this supporting the shaft, right? So just in the first case we are not able to achieve, then second we have to prepare this bearing pillow block. In that case also you can see just we change the process. Earlier we developed with the PolyJet technology, now we have used for this FDM process. Then to do the dimension analysis with the help of this quadrant measuring machines, you can see again we achieve deviations, but there is less deviations in case of this PolyJet technology. Here I can produce PolyJet technology, or some this 0.5 or some less deviations. Then this we are trying to optimize this process for this this tensile strength optimization is there, right? So in that case we produce this tensile strength specimen and we select the factor. So trying to study the different effect of this process parameters on this mechanical properties. So in that case we use this infill pattern orientation, then the layer height, then the raster angle, then infill density, wall thickness, wall speed, and infill speed. In mm per second is label 1. So infill pattern we're talking about grid and lines. Then the orientation in X, Y, YZ, and XZ. Then the layer height, the 100, 150, and 200. Raster angle 0 to 90 degree. Then infill density is 50%, 75%, 100%. Wall thickness is 0.4, 0.8, and 1.2. That is wall speed is the 30, 35, 40. Infill speed is the 60, 80, and 100. So Again, you can see the description of the process parameter, that is infill pattern means so this grid pattern in these lines and 0 degree or in grid patterns in 45 degree. Second is the orientation. We are put in the trying to this develop this orientation in the XY directions. Here is the YZ and XZ orientation. Then the layer height, thickness of each layer is 100, 150 and 200 microns. This infill density, that is volume occupied by this inner space, that is 50%, 75% and 100%. Then this raster angle, that is you can say the XY plane and this at an angle of this 45 degree or 0 degree. Then the YZ plane, right, and the XZ plane. Wall thickness, nozzle diameter 0.4 mm, 0.8 mm and 1.2 mm. And wall speed 30, and the 35 mm already discussed, and this infill density we have 60, 80 and 100 mm per second. So these are the input parameters we considered for this development of this tensile specimen. So in this case, you can see the manufacturing of the tensile test specimen in the different directions. Even though we're talking about this manufacturing of XY, YZ and XZ orientation, right? And here we have this printed complete set of this test specimen. We have used this L13 orthogonal array for this, and then we use the design of experiment software, right? We design these tables and the effect of this, study the effect of process parameters on the tensile strength. Then we have this graph, and we use the ANOVA for this optimization of this percentage contribution and optimum this combination of for this maximizing the tensile strength. Then this we have this STM. Based upon the STM, we have selected this specimen, and thickness of this specimen was only 4 mm. So now we have this man effect plot for the means. You can see here that is the effect of this all the parameters. So some of the parameters you can see higher strength mean you can achieve in the line. So some this orientation you can see the XZ is less, mean means having the decreasing the strength or we will achieve. Same thing here also. Yes, in the case of this layer height, that is going to also decrease. Raster angle you can see at 90 degrees, less effect. Infill density you can see, of course, we have the from 50 is minimum and maximum at the case of 100. So means we are going to deposit the more materials, right? So wall thickness, if we increase this, of course, we have the more strength, right? And the wall speed, you can see that is 30, 45, this 35 and 40. In that case, there are certain variations. And infill speed, that is 60, 80 and 100. So less if you use the nozzle speed, high increase the nozzle speed, then you can see that a constant effect is there, right? So we have to make this nozzle speed very less, right? Otherwise, we're going to decrease the strength. So this is the man effect plot for the means. Then the parametric interaction plot for the tensile strength. You can see we have this 8 input parameters in the different directions, right? And we have the effect plot. You can see the in this infill pattern is going to vary, right, in the different directions. Orientation is also going to change. Layer height, it is some dimensions, also raster angles, then infill density, wall thickness, wall speed, and infill speeds. So this is the parameter optimizations. So again, we have used this for this ranking method. So in the ranking method, we give the weightage and we try to find out the effect of this process parameter. So you can see the more effect is the input parameter is the infill density, that is 100%, number 1. Then the number 1 is the talking about the orientation in the XY plane. Yes, if you can use the orientation in the Z direction, that will decrease the strength. So number 3, you can see the wall thickness, that is 1.2 mm. Number 4, you can have this raster angle, that is 45 degree. And the number 5 is the infill speed, 60 mm per second. So all this infill pattern or this the layer height give the less influence on the tensile strength. So this is all about this optimum tensile strength we studied in this process. Again, we're talking about this manufacturing of this rectangular solid bar. So this table 11, this printing is present in this different orientation for this polyjet technology. You can see that is the parameters in this orientation here is there. Build materials, supporting materials, and build material consumptions, support material consumptions, total number of slices, time taken to manufacture. So before this this analysis of the Taguchi analysis, before this we have printed this polyjet solid bar in the polyjet and FDM process. We try to compare, then we prepare the tensile strength. So this slide should be before this. So test parameter, you can see the UTM machines we use this This grip length, this 20 mm, gauge length 60 mm, width is 20 mm, thickness is 10 mm, and crosshead speed is 2.5 mm per minute. This failed component should be failed within the this part, but some parts is not failed. So this is the effect of the orientation. This is in the XY orientation. This is in the YZ orientation. Here is the XZ orientation. So this failed is from these different orientations. Part printed in the poly technology. So next you can see we can have this another part we have developed in the FDM process. You can see in this case that is the grip length is 20 mm, gauge length 60 mm, width is 20 mm, thickness is 10 mm, and the crosshead speed is 1.5 mm per minute for this part printed in the FDM. So you can see the failed specimen in the different orientation, this XY, YZ, and XZ. So again, we prepare the numerical simulation model of this tensile test specimen in the different orientation. We try to achieve the effect of this different orientation in XY orientation, XY, this XY, YZ, and this XZ orientation. So we this meshing in the XY orientation, then fixed support in the XY orientation, and the loading in the XY orientation. This CAD model in the YZ orientation, meshing in the YZ orientation, and fixed support in the YZ orientation, and loading in the YZ orientation. So CAD model in the XZ orientation, meshing in the XZ, and fixed support in the XZ orientation, and loading in the XZ orientation. So you can see the compare the result from this experimental result and this numerical solution result. You can find there is a very less variations, but there is some effect there in the effect of this orientation. You can see the red line XY orientation, blue is the YZ orientation, and green one is the XZ orientation. Here the maximum stress, and in the talking about this experiment, there are so many factors going to involve. Either you can, if you are not putting the sample in this UTM machines in the proper way, that case there may be fail in the beyond this gauge length. There may be also options. So there are some input parameters, some crosshead speeds, some slippage is there. So based upon this some disturbance, we have this you can say the result, but there are certain variations also in the case of this experimental result. You can say this is the black line, this XY orientation having the maximum stress as compared to this XZ and the YZ. So XZ having less, there is also there is less. So but more deviation in the stress value. So this is the comparison of the result of this numerical simulation and the experimental result. So talking about the research area to improve the 3D printing process. So need to develop the model for predicting the KPI. So key performance index in terms of process parameters. So if you find the research paper, then you will get very limited research paper. They are talking about the effect of this process parameters. So you have studied this cause and effect diagram. There are so many parameters is there, and changing the one parameter that will change the value. So you need to optimize those process parameters first. Then the optimization of process parameter, that is raster angles and gaps, laser powers, scanning speed, exposure time, point distance. This is also going to affect thermal, chemical, mechanical simulation of materials, melting and cooling process. The photopolymer material is there, so that will going to affect. Then the measurement of this mechanical attributes for the various process parameters. This multi-scale approach to select the best process parameter, we need to optimize the process parameters, right? Then the need to perform the topology optimizations. Nowadays we are talking about the topology optimizations. We can optimize those pictures that is not feasible in the conventional process, but we can do in the 3D printing process. We need to optimize this. So you can see this solid bar this developed, and here is a this optimized bar. So we can see that you can reduce the weight, and we can optimize, and this we can achieve this maximum strength as best with trying to reducing the weight. So we need to perform the topology optimization considering the material anisotropy and layer thickness. So fiber input composite, of course, this types of this continuous fiber we are not able to produce in this, but only the form of this powder we are going to produce in the case of the 3D printing process. So lots of scope is there to do work on the fiber inputs composites. Then this to enhance the metal properties for the 3D printing, you will develop the 3D printing of continuous fiber composites. So this plastic, some nano composites, some short fibers. Now, of course, there is some scope is there in the nano scope. This metamaterial or this nano scale processing is there, right? Then the short fiber, long fiber, continuous fiber, we have the ability to work. Then the resin reinforced with the chopped carbon fiber is placed layer by layer. So once So temperature between this between these individual beads and resulting in asymmetric shrinkage and bending moment. So lots of scope is there in the 3D printing right now. We have to work on this. So 2-3 slide, we are coming to the last slide. This 2-3 slide is there talking about this the smart manufacturing, because my topic is the global this this
Hello.
smart manufacturing components industry 4. We are talking about this in the global scenario. We have to talking about this optimize this 3D printing process with the we have the logistic, we have the supplier, we have the customers, right? Everything, and we have the industry. We want to optimize those all these things, and we want to connect with the help of networking or wireless networking, right? And we are trying to optimize the result in a single platform so that we can have the this even control, or we can say that we have the distributed decision power making system in this decentralized power making system we have. So you can see this big data means we are talking about we have the data from supplier, customer, logistic, the Internet of Things, talking about the different informations, machine information, product information, production lines. So some types of machines. In this case, we are talking about we need to think about the this maintenance schedule or this breakdown maintenance. So this thing data based upon this machining process, we have to generate those data, or those we have to link up those machines with the help of this networking systems. So you can see this is customers, right? Then we have the Internet of Consumer, then cloud computing, in the cyber world, integrated supply chains, of course. Then the stock optimizations, this advanced materials and processing manufacturing is there, customized product, then the automatic this supply chain, or this production lines, this autonomous robots you can use, or real-time machine communication is there. So this is design, complex design, this collaborative manufacturing, or state analytics. Here is the smart logistics. So we have to think about to optimization of the machine, and at the 3-4 stage. First, we have to make the sensors right in the machines. Then we have to make the device level at this automation. Then we are talking about the machine level automation. Then we have to talking about the enterprise level automation. And then we are talking about the complete smart manufacturing, means whole system of this factory. Talking about the customer to the logistic and supplier, everything we need to connect at a one platform. So we will discuss detail right now. Just again talking about this cloud manufacturing. Here you can see that is the cyber physical system, means we have the control and the each and everything, and we can take the decentralized decision at a machine level, right? So we based upon the data we have this decision making thing in this industry 4. Then talking about this Internet of Things, then cloud computing, right? Cloud manufacturing, then habit manufacturing. We have to inbuild. We have to inbuild this feedback loop in like this in this way with the help of the sensors, right? Some technology you can use, of course, the security, then accuracy and precision, 3D printing, item manufacturing, some optimization, simulations, topology optimizations. You have already seen this picture. Stakeholders, then the manufacturing and service orientation, testing and service, then design and service, rapid technology, rapid prototyping, rapid manufacturing, rapid tooling, resource descriptions, design and scheduling. So if we discuss about these things, that will take another lecture. Just I'm going to brief introduction about this because my topic on this 3D printing. So we have to connect and we have to reach a level where we have the use of the 3D printing in the help of the software. So some primary and this advanced level of this 3D cloud models. You can see some models we have developed, some models we have shown here for this purpose of this understanding. So you can see this robotics and this CAD manufacturing we have taken from this papers. So we have this cloud operator, operation command and maintenance upgrade, right? 3D model browsing and selections, these are different files you have achieved 3D printer service. Then the 3D printing products. So logistic service, connection, assignment to 3D printing product information, logistic service, and the 3D printing service provider. So this is the primary based. And in the advanced, we are talking about this different types of cloud operators. So without the human intervention, we are able to take some decision. So in this, we are reducing the manpower, right? So no, you can say only operator is required to operate the computers, and everything is automation just to check the value. That is for those purpose we need the operator or some USB required. So this is 3D printing service. So talking about this logistic service, right? So physical interface and cloud interface. So what are the difference between this talking about the primary 3D printing cloud and this advanced printing 3D printing clouds model? So you have this perspective of the resource service, right? So 3D in the primary you have the 3D printing service, logistic devices, 3D model, library service. In the case of advanced 3D printing cloud, we have the 3D printing services. Apart from the 3D services, we have the supporting structure, optimization services, online slicing services, virtual printing devices, and this 3D printer maintenance service, 3D printer material supply. All these things we have added in the advanced 3D cloud model. Then the perspective of the user, we have the with knowledge background in 3D printing technology, and this 3D printer owners and professional 3D printing service demand. So lower the talking about this lower the professional knowledge threshold for this potential user to utilize the 3D printing technology. We are reducing this cost of this benefiting from the 3D printing technology. Very less manpower is required in that case. Then the perspective of the cloud platform, information sharing platform. This is the information sharing platform. We have the knowledge sharing platform, and we have the all these things of complete industry knowledge we have in a single platform. So some, of course, intellectual property protections and fundamental basis of the 3D printing committee. So there is some drawback also in the this cloud computing. That is the problem in the cyber security is the main reason. Otherwise, you can use these things in the any of the different types of this company. So of course, people are working on the cyber security also, and they are trying to developing this on this fourth evolution, that is the talking about the industry 4 smart manufacturing systems. So this is all about this today's topic. We have discussed about this. So some of the references. This is the book we have written in this person of green composite. We are talking about the this parts manufactured in this wood powder based composites. Right. Sometimes we have added use the filler. Sometimes we can directly use this part. So this is all about the today lecture. Thank you, sir. Mathu sir. So any questions from this participant now may.
Thank you, sir.
Discuss.
Thank you, Ago Pawan sir. If
Sir.
any questionnaire regarding this class, please ask.
Sir, you told me about the 2 hours we have to engage, so I engage the 2 hours.
Okay, sir.
So
Okay,
generally, so generally engage only 1 hour and a half hours.
No, sir. And any candidate ask any questions
So
regarding
tomorrow,
this session?
yeah, tomorrow I'll show you the video. We have the video of 3D printing process. So one participant asked about the video. So tomorrow I'll show you the video in the next class.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. है ना? Okay, sir. वीडियो वगैरह जो भी है आपका.
Yeah, sir. I will share the video.
Any query?
So today we discuss about the engineering perspective of the 3D printing, and tomorrow we'll discuss about the this only medical aspect of the 3D printing technology. So we have the 4D printing and some prosthetic legs we have developed that will trying to show you tomorrow.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Hello, sir.
Sir.
Hello.
Sir.
One question from my side.
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Yeah. So, what is your opinion about carbon fiber printing? What are the challenges actually? Because there are many times it is nozzle clogging and all.
So lots of challenges is there, sir. In the case of this carbon fiber, we are not able to produce the continuous fiber, you already know. But in the form of this.
One second, sir. Can we show your video?
So right now we don't have video. I'll show you tomorrow.
Okay.
Ask
question.
We have to prepare, sir. We have to prepare the video. We have the video. We'll show you in the next class. So talking about the carbon fiber, in this case, we have to pick up the solid fiber. We can use it. We can mix in the polymer. We can mix in the binder, right? So in that case, it is possible. First, you make it with the help of this extruder. You make the filament, and those filament you can use in the ABM process. So that is possible right now. But some papers I have read this. Read in this case, that is that they are trying to make the continuous filament just like just making this types of this candle they are preparing with this this tag, right? So this type of process they have used in this paper, and they are trying to making the continuous fiber composite, right, sir?
Uh-huh.
But very
Yes.
only this types of short fiber now, right now we are able to produce.
Right. Thank you, sir. Thank you. And which machine is suitable for that printing?
FDM, sir, you can use it FDM. So all these 3-4 we have used only
No,
for
because
FDM.
a specific FDM, no, you require some specific machines. That's why I'm asking.
No, sir. It is Ultimaker machines. You can have this ADM process. You can use it.
Which version of Ultimaker?
Ultimaker, I will show the models. I already show the picture. That is, I think B4 model is there.
Okay,
So
okay.
tomorrow I will show the video with this filament. You can see the how that is not based upon this current fiber. That is based upon this only filament we can use for this printing purpose. So
Yeah,
Ultimaker machine
thank you,
we
sir.
have in the native Uttarakhand. So I will show the videos.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Any other? Okay, thank you, Pawan, sir.
Okay.